If you are not afraid of drunk Shaolin masters, if you're not afraid of fire cheetahs and strange couples, if you are delighted even from the spin-offs of Highlander and Star Wars, then you've come to the right place, because the glorious Yip Man has been waiting. We hope you have subscribed to our channel because we will not limit ourselves to one video, but for now, please sit back and hold your breath. We're starting! Our today's hero came to cinematography accidentally when he was only 20 years old. Today he's 56 and he has more than 70 cinema and television projects where he was not only an actor but also a choreographer as well as a director, screenwriter, producer and even a composer. He even looks like a god, although he believes in Tao. He's handsome, he's well-groomed, he's 5 feet 8 inches tall and with ideal 165 pounds. This depends on the character he embodies at the moment. Okay, let us introduce the unique Zhen Tze-dan, better known as Donnie Yen. He was born July 27, 1963 in Guangzhou in the family of Mao Bouzhen, better known as Bosim Mark, martial artist, and Clyster Yen, who worked as a newspaper editor. His amazing mother is 77, but she's still considered an outstanding specialist in Wushu and Tai Chi. Heads of martial arts schools regularly visit her estate in Newton, Massachusetts, in order to receive valuable instructions from the great master. His father is known much less. He didn't gain such fame as his wife and especially his offspring, perhaps because he was engaged in much more peaceful and calm affairs. In addition to the newspaper, he played the violin. When our hero was 2 years old, the family moved to Hong Kong, and from there, after Zhen had a sister named Chris, she appears in films of his famous brother in the United States. After an inevitable period of adaptation in a foreign country, the Yens settled in Boston, and this city became the starting point of the future star's career. Rather say, the School of Martial Arts, founded by his mother in the capital of Massachusetts. First, the boy diligently mastered in different martial arts and their styles, and this helped him to stay sharp. Donnie calls himself a mixed arts fighter. He is one of the best wushu wrestlers in the world. In addition, he has the 6th dan in Taekwondo, which he began to study when he was 9, as well as excellent possession of Jiu-Jitsu, purple belt, Judo, black belt, boxing, wrestling, kickboxing, and Muay Thai, and for some reason parkour. He even fought several times in MMA, combining fights with a successful career in Hollywood. It was at the beginning of the new millennium, and a couple years ago he played the role of a coach in the film shot by the association. However, first it would be nice to talk about how it began, because it deserves a separate blockbuster. Zhen had to blame his explosive nature and irrepressible thirst for adventure. When he was a teenager, even debilitating exercises at mom's school didn't help him to calm down. Yen's family doesn't like to talk about it, but Boston Chinatown and the successful wushu and other martial systems learning have attracted the attention of the Triad's local branch, the Chinese Mafia, which is deservedly considered the most powerful criminal organization in the world. It got to the point that a 14-year-old boy began to fight for money, and his patrons attracted him as a power now and then. It could have ended badly, so wise Bosim took the first opportunity to float the child to a safe place. In fact, often families' moves were largely due to the vigilant attention of the bandits, those were watching for Yen's mother. Luckily, some men from Beijing came to Boston, and Bosim knew him and asked him to invite her son to a martial arts school that man had. This was both reasonable and useful. Jet Li studied there at the same time, so sometimes Zhen got up sparring with him in. Such an acquaintance helped him later when he took his first steps as a stunt coordinator and fight. In addition, the future star jumped out of the sticky embrace of the Triad, simultaneously winning several gold medals in prestigious competitions and hitting the Chinese team in Wushu. 2 years later, Zhen Tze-dan returned to Boston, where his family lived and where his martial arts school grew up into a Wushu research institute. Now, nobody bothered the guy, and he didn't leave the gym for days, improving existing skills and mastering new ones. So one day he got to the set. Director Yuan Wupin, who opened Jackie Chan to the world, was preparing for the shooting of his upcoming film Drunken Tai Chi, using Bosim's school as a set. Refined movements and selflessness of handsome young lad that fought shadow in a corner of the gym attracted Yuan's attention, and he, with no hesitation, offered the main role to a boy. Zhen agreed, just for fun, but that moment he was gone and Donnie Yen was born instead. The debut was a success. Audience kindly accepted the picture, and the main character enjoyed the process so much that cried yes when the director has only given a hint about the next job, although now he says that he didn't like picture making. The successful Chinese duo worked for several years and made some cool motion pictures. In a good way, it was Yuan Wuping who taught Donnie how to work in movie, and Donnie in turn made the work of Yuan so much charm that at least half of the director's fame should be grateful to the young actor. However, the era of drunk Tai Chi that continued with Tiger Cage had to end. First, Donnie ceased to appear, decided to make stage and fights and stunts only, and then abandoned it all. As Yen says, he was tired of the same type of movies about bad and good guys. He wanted more, and it came. In 1992, Donnie was invited to the second part of Once in China, where Jet Li, with whom they met in Beijing, was a star. So Yen's finest hour came. In addition to earn money and several awards at different film festivals, the movie gave him some new acquaintances, which allowed him to join the Dream Factory and take part in the filming of more than 70 movies and TV films. 5 years after Once in China 2 and several successful projects in cinema and television, Donnie Yen made first film of his own, The Legend of Wolf. Then there were The Ballistic Kiss, The Twins, and other pictures. And although everyone says Donnie Yen is primarily an actor, his works as a director should be respected not less than his roles, as well as his works in other arts. Despite the constant employment in the movie, Yen finds time for charity. Since 2012, he has been working on the project Go Asia, dedicated to the consolidation of efforts of disparate donors in favor of the poor and refugees, and attracted to it many famous people from the cinema world. He even spoke at one of the large-scale forums of the Canadian WE Foundation, visited refugee camp in Thailand, and became an ambassador of the international organization Save Children. In addition, Donnie Yen found himself as a musician. No wonder, as his father was a good violinist and mother, besides all her talents, sang soprano in several ensembles. Since childhood, his parents forced him to study piano, and now, after his half-century anniversary, these sufferings resulted in several compositions in hip-hop and break. Another brainchild of Donnie is a public organization that deals with the celebrities' honor and dignity protection, including judicial. This idea was prompted by his own sad experience when a certain Tan Bing, aka Zhang Weigou, pursued Yan with defamation charges and even hired some lumpens to annoy the actor and his family. And Donnie Yen is ready to break anyone who offends his relatives. Being a very prominent man, he did not suffer from lack of female attention, and for a long time his adventures were subject of gossips. He met his first wife, Liu Xingqi, in 1990s, but married her only 3 years later in the strictest confidence. However, secrets did not help them. The marriage lasted less than a year, and immediately after the divorce, Liu learned that she was expecting a child. So Jeff, Donnie Yen's firstborn, was born in 1995. In the early 2000s, Donnie met Miss Chinese Toronto, Cecilia Cici Won, and after 3 months of courtship made her an offer. This attempt was happy for Donnie. This marriage lasts for many years and they still love each other, showing just a great example to their children, 15-year-old Jasmine and 11-year-old Jeff. Yen's living both in Toronto, where his wife Donnie, and in a mansion house in the north of the USA, but Donnie rarely visits his houses as he's always busy. Nevertheless, such a demand is converted into a decent income. For example, only in 2012, which according to the actor himself was not very successful, he earned about $20 million only on commercials without 3 motion pictures and so on and so forth. However, the exact Yen's income is open only to his lawyers who conduct his business. There are the features of the star mentality. Yeah, Donnie is not poor and okay. According to Donnie, the main secret of a successful family life is not a mountain account but mutual listening of the couple. as they do. Donnie Yen really adores his wife and shows her where possible, going together with her everywhere. So tough guys, they are busy all the time and participating in everything, including 2 new films. In 2012, Mulan and Sleeping Dogs will be released, and even Yen's personal website says "See you soon" are able to be tender and sensual. Although, for a man who cared nothing for Chuck Norris, who blamed his cinema godfather Yuan Wu-bin in mediocrity and knowing nothing about filmmaking, such things are unusual, but in the same time, Yen worships Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan and respects Steven Seagal and Michael Bay, and all these things mean the only thing: Donnie is just a man with peculiar features like each of us, and just his own set of these features makes him a real star. Our channel is about such people. Subscribe for it to be informed properly in the top news about the world's most famous celebrities. And do not forget to thank all those who tried to tell you about them with your likes.